Hi there, listener. I am Leo, the embodiment of all Leo signs. You are about to hear a hand-picked scene from my opening chapter. There I was with Harold. We had entered a door that only the readers would understand. I wasn't too sure about the world we had entered myself. Anyways, dear listener, I was filled with many, many emotions. Let me share to you my last moments with Harold. I could have sat there for hours, soaking in the beauty this place flourished. The lights, the energy was compelling. And people were everywhere. But they were not the everyday people we see here. The average life on Earth would refer to these people as monsters. When up close and personal with the existence of life there, we soon realized that fun seemed out of their minds and expressions. Everyone there seemed to move around with a serious intention. The conversations they exchanged were for brief moments. Individuals were exchanging things with each other and dropping items off in containers and whatnot. I felt concerned in my mind, but I ignored it. Harold looked at me a few times like he wanted to express himself, but pressed on. I wish I knew what he was thinking then. I had various opportunities to ask, but I never did. My mindless stares to just follow was simply because Harold was just so urgent and so sudden about entering this door. Us, coming from his home to this world, just sped by so fast. Like everything was just happening without my thoughts at bay. I knew we shouldn't have been there. Yet so much was going on in my head, so much confusion. I had no focus, no internal pressure to point out the importance of understanding what was going on with Harold. But things only got stranger. Our walk led us to a building that had an open entrance. Inside, a white light lit up the lobby. Finally, Harold speaks. He says,
I see an odd symbol through my glasses. It's inside this building.
Then we heard someone from inside. Voice a loud whisper to us.
Come over here.
This scene was like one pending for horror. Harold then says,
Let us move in closer. I cannot make out a clear picture of this symbol from here.
I refused to do so in silence, but Harold kept walking. This unknown voice did not sound appealing enough for me to step further. Even without the creepy voice, the scenery had me partly convinced of scattering back to the door. When Harold entered the lobby of the building, he stood looking to the left of a room. His stance stumbled backward one step. A long arm with extensive fingers reaches out and grabs him. I looked to my left and right, hoping a witness could help or explain this occurrence. The individuals who inhabited this city were all gone, not a soul in sight, just stillness mixed very well with silence. I was seemingly in the middle of this place, by myself. A scream from Harold shouts through the entrance of that room. However, in the last spot I saw him, there crouched a creature. The thought of this thing makes me feel how I was feeling then. I saw it clearly, as if I were face to face with it. It was beyond disturbing. Hands were just as I explained earlier, extensive, about the size of a toddler's legs. It had long black nails shaped like thorns. Its skin was oily and bloody red. This thing had a skinny body with weirdly curved bones which poked out like it was suffering from starvation. His face comprised of 5 solid black eyes, 2 on each side of its head, one centered on the forehead and the last 2 on its cheekbones. They looked much like shining beads, but the blinking continued rapidly yet constantly. It had no nose structure, but 3 nostrils centered on its face. Hair also did not exist on this creature. The jawline of this thing slightly hung open because of its oversized teeth. They were normal-looking teeth, just devilish-looking due to the fierce in its smile. It honestly terrified my insides. I did not want to believe the liquid covering him or the red on its teeth was Harold's blood, but that would have been an ignorant thought. A clownish laugh comes out of this thing's mouth to a sudden seriousness. It then asked me a question, speaking very soft-spoken. It was very odd for such a strange appearance.
Would you like to come in?
I had no response. Instead, I looked to my right, analyzing my distance from the door. The thing then gently yells out,
Wait right there for a moment.
Then wandered back off into the left room that Harold got pulled inside. With no more hesitation in my head, I ran for the old green door. When on the city's edge, I hear an aggressive demand as if it was whispering hell into my ears.
Hey, come back here now. I need to show you this. Please, stop running, please. I will give you your friend back.
Not a stumble or a trip slowed me as I exited. From then on, in fear, I waited at home for Harold in hopes of his return. Every day for nearly 1 century I have been living in regret. I never even peeked through that door again. Even though I ignored most of the past myself, I know I cannot delete my cowardly actions. Now what circles my mind consciously is knowing that I am not mortal. So much I could have done to save him, or I could have just answered his demands. Maybe that thing would have just returned Harold. Wait, just a minute. Are you judging me, listener? Nah, perhaps you would have done the same. Though, the strength of that creature was unknown. I wasn't fully myself. Traits were still fidgety, struggling with understanding. Let's just say our choices as an element aren't meant full. When we know little or nothing of ourselves, transforming into my insurmountable lion form possibly could have helped. Again, I wasn't fully myself. Just forget it. Anyways, so tell me, would you like to hear more? Perhaps an insight into another element? How about you follow this aspiring author and like the video and leave a comment to show your support for the untold tales of lives like mine and the truth of all existence, including your own. You never know what your sign's aura may truly entail.